Today's Monday, December 16th, 2024. We got 9 days till Christmas. We got 2 weeks to the new year. We got about 2.5 weeks, 18 days to be exact, until Raw is Netflix on January 6th of 2025 in Los Angeles, California. We're going to have Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala to see who the true tribal chief is. I think we're going to see CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I think we might see Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the Undisputed title. We might see Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for the World Women's Championship. A lot's going to go down. Oh, and might I add, John Cena is going to be there. The Rock might be there. I think they're going to treat Raw on Netflix on January 6th as like a WrestleMania level PLE, which is going to be so fun to watch. But let's get into last night's Saturday night's main event on NBC. It's the first Saturday night's main event since the 70s and 80s. First real Saturday night's main event since 2008, I believe, which Cody Rhodes actually did compete in. He faced Batista back in 2008, so 16 years, give or take, since the last actual Saturday night's main event. This one was the first one since Jesse Ventura's era, though, that was a real Saturday night's main event and had a real premium live event feel to it. Live on pay-per-view. It was live on NBC, so network television. It was a big deal. I will say, having Pat McAfee and Jesse Ventura on commentary together was not on my bingo card this year in WWE. Pat McAfee starts the show by, I think this is like the fourth time that he's had a surprise return to start a PLE. He's the special guest commentator for the night with Michael Cole, best friends, Cole and McAfee and Cole back together again. And then in the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the title, they had Jesse Ventura on commentary with both Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. And I didn't know if it was going to work, but it did. I thought Jesse Ventura was going to stick out like a sore thumb, but he didn't. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee immediately get put in their place by Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura saying, "Look at those cushy seats that you're sitting in, huh? Look at all the money you're making. Who do you think paved the way for you?" And they're just like, "You did, Jesse." And he did. Jesse Ventura, Pat McAfee, and Michael Cole were gold together on comedy for that main event match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed title. So let's get into it. That's how the show ends. Cody Rhodes defeating Kevin Owens for the Undisputed WWE Winged Eagle Championship, I might add, for one night only. Cody Rhodes doing something that we haven't seen him do in this whole white meat babyface run that he's had since he returned to WWE back in 2022 at WrestleMania 38. He really has been the John Cena of this era. He's been the Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, the Hulk Hogan. He's the first white meat babyface that the WWE has had as their poster child since Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was a verified babyface. The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin were kind of tweeners in that era, right? John Cena was a babyface, quote unquote, but the fans booed the crap out of him. Where Cody Rhodes is a beloved babyface and face of the company. He's the first real one, right? Roman Reigns is the first true heel that was a face of a company. And now Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, is the first true white meat babyface since Hulk Hogan, in my opinion. But last night, he gave Kevin Owens a reason to continue to doubt Cody Rhodes and his attitude and his overall demeanor and character on WWE television, because Cody Rhodes did a very heelish thing in the main event against Kevin Owens. He used a steel chair, hits Cross Rhodes on the steel chair to end the match. Charles Robinson counts the 1-2-3. Cody Rhodes retains the title. Although Kevin Owens brought the steel chair into play when the referee got knocked down, Cody Rhodes is the one that used it. I think that this is just going to be a slow burn into the eventual Cody Rhodes Homelander heel run that he's going to have as early as 2025, as late, I think, as 2026. I think this is going to be one of those long-term things that Paul Levesque just cooks and cooks and cooks, especially because you got to get a good feel as to whether or not the fans are going to want it or not. I think the idea of a Cody Rhodes Homelander heel run, and I'll explain why it would be a Homelander heel run. He dresses like Homelander from The Boys. And if you understand the storyline and the plot from The Boys, Homelander is a squeaky clean good guy in the face of the public, but he's a real rat bastard behind the scenes. All of these guys, and that's what they're going to say about Cody Rhodes, that he's a politician per se, a guy that puts a smile on his face and kisses babies and is the ultimate squeaky clean white meat baby face and good guy in WWE, but he's really an asshole and a politician behind the scenes and the Nightmare Factory's running WWE. And that's what they're going to go with, right? Eventually in the long run, whether it's as late as a year from now in 2025 or as early as 2026, I think we're going to get a vicious heel run from Cody Rhodes, Homelander edition and style in WWE. But for now, Cody Rhodes uses the chair, which Kevin Owens will use as an excuse. WWE once again uses an angle in which I really loved the first time they used it. I didn't really love it so much last night. The angle in which they used their fans to leverage social media to get the word out and to get buzz out for what happened after the show. We saw after Bad Blood, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes teaming up against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. The Rock returns. It was a whole thing. But after the show, fans caught on social media of Kevin Owens attacking Cody Rhodes by his tour bus, which signaled a Kevin Owens heel turn, even though it wasn't on the air. It wasn't on actual WWE television. It was behind the scenes. Fans caught recording of it. It blew up on social media. There's your heel turn for Kevin Owens. WWE used that last year too, when CM Punk returned at Survivor Series. Remember Seth Rollins selling the crap out of the fact that he hates CM Punk. Michael Cole and Corey Graves holding him back as he's flipping off Phil Brooks to end Survivor Series. That was not on camera. The fans caught that on their iPhones. The almighty power of the iPhone caught that on camera. And then that leads to the whole, oh my God, this is real life beef between Seth Rollins, Colby Lopez, and Phil Brooks, CM Punk. What's going to happen there, which might lead to Raw on Netflix next week, a year and a half later. They're finally going to have that one-on-one match between CM Punk and Seth freaking Rollins. They did it with Kevin Owens at Bad Blood, and then they do it again after Saturday night's main event goes off the air. So Cody Rhodes defeats Kevin Owens using a steel chair to hit Crossroads to retain the WWE Championship. That's how the show goes off the air. And then you find out moments later, after it went off the air, Cody Rhodes is about to give the go-home speech to the crowd at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York. And Kevin Owens viciously attacks him from behind and hits him with arguably the cleanest packaged pile driver I've ever seen. Cody Rhodes sells the crap out of it. He almost looked paralyzed in that ring. They get a stretcher for Cody Rhodes. Kevin Owens silences the crowd. People were just in shock and awe. You could hear a pin drop in Nassau Coliseum after he hit that pile driver, because remember when he hit the pile driver with Randy Orton a few months ago, we haven't seen Randy Orton since. He hits the pile driver on Cody Rhodes here. Cody Rhodes, I'm sure, is going to be out for a while now, because they sold it with Randy. Why wouldn't they sell it with Cody Rhodes? Kevin Owens hits the pile driver, holds up the Winged Eagle Championship, takes it with him all the way up the stage, gives a bow, and then that's where Triple H kind of gets physical with Kevin Owens, shoving him. Kevin Owens shoves Triple H. Triple H shoves Kevin Owens. They go back and forth. Triple H really hasn't gotten physical since he got that pacemaker in his heart a few years ago when he was deemed unable to compete ever again. So that was interesting, and we'll get into that. But Kevin Owens doesn't have many friends right now, and Kevin Owens doesn't have many friends, and many people don't want to be friends with Kevin Owens now. Is he wrong? I don't know. In the context of things, we've heard Sam Roberts talk about it on Hot Sam Wrestling and his emergency podcast. We've heard Chris Van Vliet talk about it. We've heard all the wrestling journalists and podcasters out there talk about it. Is Kevin Owens speaking truth? A little bit. Is he in the right? No, he's being a heel. But I think this could play out into a bigger story down the line, like I said, with the Homelander Cody Rhodes heel run that I think we'll see eventually down the line, whether it's as early as next year or as early as 2026. I don't know. But I think they're slow cooking that one for us in the future. The pile driver, I think before it was hit on Randy Orton, the last pile driver we saw on WWE television before Kevin Owens hit it on Randy Orton was CM Punk hitting it on John Cena on a Raw in 2013 leading up to WrestleMania 29. which was arguably the greatest CM Punk and John Cena wrestling match of all time, in my opinion. I even think CM Punk said it on a podcast recently with O'Shea Jackson that it was his favorite match with John Cena of all time. But that was 13 years ago. Besides a tombstone pile driver from The Undertaker, we've never seen an actual pile driver hit on WWE television. They banned the move because of how dangerous it is. Obviously, performers can perform it, like Kevin Owens performs it because it was Kevin Steen's finishing maneuver his entire indie career before he came to the WWE, and now he has the pop-up powerbomb and the Stone Cold Stunner that he adopted from Stone Cold Steve Austin. But you weren't allowed to hit a pile driver, not because they couldn't hit it themselves and safely execute it, but because fans and kids would replicate it at home and snap each other's necks and paralyze each other, right? That's the whole idea of the pile driver being banned and it being a vicious and dangerous move. So Kevin Owens hits it on Cody Rhodes. Like I said, Cody Rhodes sold it to perfection, just did not move an inch, didn't shake, did not move an inch after he got hit with that pile driver. And then the medics come down, they put him on the stretcher. Kevin Owens then gets physical with Triple H. Maybe Triple H isn't telling anybody anything, but maybe he has a lot more leniency when it comes to competing in the ring than maybe we thought, which would be very interesting down the line. And that's just me spitting out garbage. I don't think that's true at all. So don't attack me on social media for this. But Triple H versus Kevin Owens, man, that's something that we probably should have seen before Triple H eventually had to be forced into retirement, right? So who knows? Maybe we see Cody versus Randy at the title for the title at WrestleMania. We get Rock versus Roman. Maybe we get Triple H versus Kevin Owens. A kid can dream, right? But Kevin Owens got beef with Triple H now. He's got beef with Cody Rhodes. He's got beef with Randy Orton. He has executed the pile driver perfectly on Randy Orton, which was perfectly sold. He executed it perfectly on Cody Rhodes, which was perfectly sold. You got to assume because Randy Orton's been out for like 2 months because of the pile driver, Cody Rhodes probably isn't going to be seen on WWE TV for a while. And that's weird to say because he is the face of the company. He's the white meat baby face. He's the WWE champion. What are you going to do with the storyline if Cody Rhodes isn't going to be on TV selling this pile driver? I'm assuming that at very latest, he'll be back at the Royal Rumble on February 1st at Lucas Oil Stadium. I would imagine it'll be Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the title. And maybe that's the night we see the return of Randy Orton. And then regardless of how he gets involved, if he attacks Kevin, if he attacks Cody, I think that you could easily build up Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens in some barbaric match for WrestleMania while Cody Rhodes goes off and defends the title against Roman or The Rock or Punk or whoever they want him to face at WrestleMania. Because once again, what Triple H has done perfectly since his time running things in creative for WWE is that you really don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, did we assume Roman versus Cody 2 was going to happen at WrestleMania 40? Yeah, the story was there, but then The Rock comes back and you're like, oh my God, we're getting Rock versus Roman. We do want that match, but not really right now. We kind of wanted Cody, and then the fans turn on The Rock, and then they put Cody back in, and now Rock's a heel. He's a part of the bloodline. Like the story, we didn't think we were going to get that. That was an unbelievable story that was told. We thought we were probably going to get CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Punk gets hurt, and now you're thinking, how are they going to replace that match, right? And then Drew McIntyre comes in and fits the spot perfectly, and now we see a great heel run for Drew McIntyre that's taken off in the last 12 months because of that. So you don't really know where it's going to go, and this year is for certain. I couldn't tell you one main event that's going to happen. Could we see Roman versus The Rock? Yeah. Could we see Roman versus Solo Sikoa? Yeah. Could we see Roman versus Cody 3? Yeah. Could we see Rock versus Cody? Yeah. Could we see Randy versus Cody? Yeah. Punk versus Cody? Yeah. KO versus Cody? Like, there's so many different matches that are on the cards because all of these storylines are intertwined. And that's why it's so awesome to be a wrestling fan right now. There's so many storylines that are intertwined. Drew McIntyre is intertwined in feuds with CM Punk and Roman Reigns' bloodline right now. He beat Sami Zayn to kick off the show at Saturday Night's main event. Drew McIntyre with a clean win over Sami Zayn, the honorary Uso. And he said, 1 down, 4 to go. 1 down, 4 to go. So he beat Sami Zayn. He already attacked Jey Uso. He attacked Jimmy Uso. I think the next 4 he's saying he's going. Now you could assume that after War Games, it was Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and CM Punk. You could assume that he took out Sami Zayn. So those are the 4, right? Roman, the Usos, and CM Punk. I'm thinking 1 down, 4 to go. It's going to be Jey Uso. It's going to be Big Jim, Jimmy Uso. It's going to be Roman Reigns, obviously. And it's going to be Solo Sikoa. Because remember, who really screwed Drew McIntyre in that title match 2 years ago in Cardiff, Wales at Clash of the Castle against Roman Reigns? It was the debut of Solo Sikoa. I get it. They're both heels. Drew's a heel. Solo's a heel. Roman's a face. Drew's a heel. That would work out well. And you could say that could obviously culminate at Raw on Netflix because it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala. You could easily have Drew McIntyre screw over Roman Reigns, and then Solo gets the big win, albeit a cheating win over Roman Reigns, but gets a big win to proclaim himself as the one true tribal chief in the bloodline. And then you can go off and tell a Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre story, potentially, because they've always had great chemistry in the ring. But you could also just have Drew McIntyre go apeshit on both of them leading into the Royal Rumble, because if you're going to take out the OG bloodline, I know he has his new bloodline, but Solo Sikoa is a part of that OG bloodline. It was Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso, and then Sami Zayn. That's the original bloodline. Even though Solo Sikoa brought in Jacob Fatu and the Tongans, that's his new bloodline, but he's a part of that. And he specifically screwed over Drew McIntyre in front of his hometown crowd in Scotland in 2022. So I'm assuming Drew McIntyre on January 6th in Los Angeles, California, is getting involved in that Ula Fala match one way or another, whether he's attacking Roman Reigns, whether he's attacking Solo Sikoa, whether he's hitting both of them with Claymore kicks going into the Royal Rumble, because you could tell that story going into the Royal Rumble, because I think we're about to see probably one of the most stacked Royal Rumble matches of all time at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. We're going to see Roman Reigns in the match. We're going to see Solo Sikoa in the match. We're going to see Drew McIntyre in the match. We're going to see CM Punk in the match. We're going to see Seth freaking Rollins in the match. We're going to see John Cena in the match. It's going to be absolutely nuts, and I'm all here for it. There's going to be so many different stories that you can tell when there's 30 guys in the ring at Lucas Oil Stadium for that Royal Rumble match. Maybe The Rock's in the match, for all we know, you know? They're saying, I've heard some goofs on social media say that The Rock might insert his power as the final boss and head of the board to make himself the 31st entrant into the Royal Rumble match. After you think it's all said and done, Rock comes out, you see the 9, 8, 7, 6, and you're thinking like 31st entrant, and then The Rock comes out and wins it all and steals it as a heel. And then that's how you set up Rock versus Cody, probably for WrestleMania. So that's one way you could do it. I'm excited for the new year. Raw on Netflix, January 6th, the Royal Rumble, February 1st, Saturday night's main event in San Antonio, Texas on Saturday, January 25th, a week before the Royal Rumble. WWE's cooking a lot of cool things right now, leading into the new year. But no bigger thing right now than, I think, Kevin Owens' storyline with Cody Rhodes and Randy. I think it's going to culminate in probably Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble. And then that's where Randy Orton probably makes his return. And like I said, I don't know how they're going to book it. It could be Kevin Owens getting attacked by Randy Orton, and that's how Cody retains again. And then you go off and you do Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton and build that up for WrestleMania while Cody goes off and does his own thing. Or they return Randy Orton and he turns on Cody Rhodes, and then you go that route for WrestleMania, because obviously that's the legacy match, right? Orton and Cody Rhodes go 15, 20 years back. That's protege and mentor right there. Orton versus Rhodes for the title. You know we're getting that at some point. We just don't know when. And, I mean, you could slow cook that one for SummerSlam next year. You don't necessarily have to do it right here and right now. We're probably going to get KO versus Orton first, and then we'll get to Orton and Rhodes. Or we could see a triple threat match between the three. Or Triple H is hiding the fact that he's medically cleared to compete, and then he faces Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. You know, like I said, a kid can dream. I'd love to see it. I don't think we're going to see it, but Kevin Owens has a ton of fair points to say that Cody Rhodes is not really the guy that WWE fans make him out to be. Maybe he is a fake-ass politician, and he's a heel underneath this babyface persona. Or maybe Kevin Owens is full of shit. I don't really know. There's a lot of really cool stories being told here, though, of, you know, Triple H telling Randy Orton, like, I'm not protecting you, I am protecting you. I'm not protecting Kevin Owens, I'm protecting you. And saying, Randy, you have the match at Crown Jewel, but you better watch yourself at all times. Like, everything counts right now in WWE. Kevin Owens hits him with the pile driver. Now we haven't seen Randy Orton in 2 months, and now he hits the pile driver on Cody Rhodes, which it's been an unbelievable storyline. Owens versus Rhodes is going to take charge, whether that's on Netflix, whether that's at the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes heel turn, I think we'll see in the next few years. Hopefully by either this time next year or early 2026, we'll see the beginning stages, I think, of that Homelander heel run. Kevin Owens pile driver is taking the world by storm right now. He basically took out two of the top baby faces on SmackDown with it. Could we see Triple H back in action? Kid can dream, right? Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, probably the plan for WrestleMania in my eyes. McIntyre going after all the members of the original bloodline. Like I said, Roman, the Usos, and Solo. That's the original bloodline after he took out Sami Zayn. And then Raw on Netflix, we're getting Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa for the Ulafala to see who the true tribal chief is, tribal combat. I think we're getting CM Punk versus Seth frickin' Rollins, which is going to be awesome to see. We're getting the return of John Cena, and I think we're probably going to get Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the world's women's title as well, if not Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the WWE title. All that and more. We'll have WWE coverage all week long here on the channel. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Jack O'Hara TV.